don't count him out. I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, we could have a big upset, But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out?
This might be a step too far. Now, when I say it, I'm also, I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall down.
If I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the f*** is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there.
Boxing experts are sharing their thoughts on the surprising matchup between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, and opinions are very divided. Many analysts think Joshua's size, experience, and Olympic background give him a huge advantage. They say if Joshua keeps steady pressure, he could end the fight early. Others point out Jake Paul's quick improvement, strict training camps, and his willingness to fight bigger opponents. They believe he might win rounds by using movement and sharp counterpunches. Still, most professionals see Joshua as the clear favorite because of his power and ring intelligence. But the hype on Jake Paul keeps the matchup exciting, with fans wondering if he can shock the world again. Tommy Fury believes the fight is heavily one-sided because of the massive size and skill difference. He says heavyweight boxing is a whole different level. Elite heavyweights have trained for decades, and their power is extremely dangerous, something lighter fighters and beginners cannot fully understand. Fury thinks the physical difference alone makes it impossible for Jake to win, no matter how much he trains or improves.
Beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the f*** is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me two-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. You can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So...
Derek Chisora focuses on toughness and real fight experience. Having fought almost every major heavyweight of this era, he looks at Jake Paul through the lens of ring brutality. In his opinion, Jake has never faced true danger against elite heavyweights, and the heavyweight division is too unforgiving for anyone still learning. Chisora believes the fight would end quickly and violently. He thinks the size difference between Joshua and Jake is so massive that the fight wouldn't last more than 5 rounds under any circumstances. For Chisora, Joshua's power, size, and strong boxing fundamentals would overwhelm Jake long before the halfway point of a scheduled fight. He says that if the matchup somehow went past 5 rounds, it would mean Joshua performed poorly or held back, because the skill and strength gap is far too big for the fight to last long.
And I know you say it's entertainment and there'll be a massive audience, but is there an element of danger as well? Look, AJ's a former world champion, and this is a guy, the best he's been in with is Tommy Fury.
Listen, he don't really care. In the boxing ring, it's the only place you can murder somebody and not go to jail. So, kudos to that. So if he gets beaten up and something happens, it's part of the game.
Well, I'm not sure that's a game that people will want to see, though.
Is it a real fight, though? Is this going to be a proper fight? You will know more than most.
Mate, let me tell you something. From how much they get paid, about 177 million, whatever, and they're splitting down the middle. So I hope it's not a game, because I want to see some blood. I want to see somebody's teeth falling out. So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony. I was like, listen, I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's gonna be having a go at you, because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, people are gonna be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1 round.
Yeah, and I think you're dead right. Is he worried about that? Is he worried about what happens, if he doesn't see him off in the first round or the second round?
No, he's not worried about it. He's going to smoke this guy out. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to smoke this guy out properly. I'll be there. He's going to smoke him. I can't wait.
Theoretically, if he comes out swinging, right, AJ should be able to get it done in are we talking 30 seconds? If AJ is giving it everything he's got.
Listen, if AJ comes in there and just blows on this kid, he's gonna just drop him to the floor. So I don't really. I'm just wasting money going to Miami because I know it's gonna be finished in 1 round. So I don't know.
Are you gonna go?
Joseph Parker takes a more professional approach. He believes Joshua has trained with world-class coaches and sparred with champions for many years, giving him skills and experience that Jake Paul hasn't had time to develop. While Parker respects Jake for taking tough fights, he still sees Joshua as too polished, too strong, and too experienced to be seriously challenged by someone so new to the sport.
Jake has said that he's interested in doing Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul.
Let's talk about fights that make sense. Jake Paul's doing whatever Jake Paul does. If Joshua's serious about wanting to stay in boxing, then fight good, real fights, if that's what you want to do. I mean, if you want to go down this other road and do this, then that's by all means do it. But it's a different journey and it's a different pathway. I think as fighters who've been in the game for a long time, I want real fights. If I was given the opportunity to fight Jake Paul, would I take it? No.
Not even for the money, no.
No, like I want to be champion of the world. That's my goal. And that's
Evander Holyfield looks at the fight from a mindset and conditioning perspective. He respects Jake's fitness and desire to improve, but he believes Joshua is far more used to long, hard fights. Holyfield says that surviving heavyweight pressure, not just throwing punches, is what makes Joshua extremely difficult for Jake to defeat. He also emphasizes that the physical strength of a natural heavyweight is hard to handle, even for skilled fighters.
I would love to see that myself. I would love to see that fight. Interesting.
Who do you lean towards?
You know, it's just gonna be. It would just be a good fight. I'm telling you know, it's a good fight, but you know, being the best. You know, because my whole thing, I don't want nobody to think I want somebody. I like boxing, and whoever wins.
David Benavidez Sr. has shocked fans with his strong opinion about the matchup. He believes Jake Paul is stepping into a level of danger he has never faced before, and this fight could reveal the limits of his fast rise in boxing. According to him, Joshua's size, power, and championship background create a situation where Jake could get seriously hurt if he isn't extremely careful. He says Jake's confidence and punching power won't matter when he's standing in front of a real heavyweight who has competed at the highest level of the sport.
I'm out. You know, I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, you know, we could have a big upset, you know. But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Do you think it's competitive? A lot of people are saying if AJ doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, it'll be a huge embarrassment.
I don't think that's not the case, that he's gonna get Jake Paul. At the end of the day, Jake Paul has been training hard too, and you know, he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he would take him out in 2-3 rounds. I think maybe in the later rounds, or it might go to decision, you know, but I don't think that Jake Paul can take AJ out. I mean, or AJ could take Jake Paul. Maybe, you know, but I don't know. It's just going to be an exciting fight. I think
Roy Jones Jr. shared a surprising perspective. He said the fight only makes sense for Joshua if it benefits him both competitively and financially, because Joshua is a real former world champion. Jones said, "Did you see what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? The same thing happens to Jake Paul." He strongly believes that anyone who thinks a part-time boxer can beat Anthony Joshua is crazy.
Change subjects just a little bit here, and Anthony Joshua, there's rumours circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. 1, do you think it's good for boxing, and 2, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he'd probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fight anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if you want to get a good win to put him back on the scene, that's the...
Lawrence Oakley expressed serious concern about Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua, saying the matchup could be extremely dangerous. Oakley has sparred with Jake before and praised his discipline and attitude, but he now thinks fighting AJ, who has elite power and technique, is a matchup that puts Jake at real risk. Many boxing experts agree. Eddie Hearn called the idea very dangerous. Frank Warren said it was a big mismatch because of Joshua's physical advantages. Former world champion Amir Khan even warned that Jake could get killed in the ring if he fights Joshua.